Welcome back to the Lazaretto Halloween special. You're chilling with Jake. On to the next.
Hello, everyone. This is Ben.
Ben.
It's Caleb.
And our special guest. I guess everyone's a guest on it.
Yeah.
Everyone's a guest.
We're all guests.
We're guests in this world.
They kept begging me to come on, and I said, fine. I guess.
He finally paid his agent what he wanted.
I guess.
We emailed his contact page on his website every day until he responded.
It's a charity stream.
Darnell got kicked out for some old tweets that resurfaced.
Yeah, some bad tweets involving a roast beef sandwich, feminism,
and lemonade.
Feminism.
lemonade, feminism, and a roast beef sandwich. Always a bad combination.
And we believe victims.
We do believe victims.
I don't like him. He's kind of sexist.
Yes, Darnell is extremely sexist.
Anyway,
I've tried to distance myself from him over the years because of his heinous conduct.
I think I've become a better person since I quit.
Anyway, the truth about Darnell is we called him and told him we was doing a Halloween special. He said, "Let me finish what I'm eating, and I'll get on." We said, "Okay."
He's eating a roast beef sandwich.
He has to be. It's the biggest one in the Guinness World Records because it's been 30 damn minutes.
You're acting like he told you like 40 minutes ago, dude.
Yeah, it was like 40 minutes. So he must have gone back for a second one. So I don't know.
Looks like I got some more ricotta cheese.
I hope he's just like in his halfway through his third bowl and then it just clicks. He's supposed to be here.
His bowl of roast beef sandwich.
He didn't feel like making it, just threw all the ingredients in that bowl.
God.
Anyway, so Caleb was going to be our special guest no matter what. So he's going to have 4 people on here, make it a little bit more interesting since y'all haven't heard from us in a while. The 3 people that listen to us, I guess.
It's been like 5 months, 6 months.
It ain't been that long.
Basically, all the crazy stuff that happened in between. I think COVID was like just kind of getting underway the last time we talked.
Yeah, it was underway, and then because I was off work, COVIDcation at my job,
nice.
And now I'm back working, so that's kind of what limited us because I'm a second shifter.
Yeah,
and Jones is a first shifter.
I'm on COVIDcation right now.
For real.
Sure. Call that what you want, you damn boy. But Caleb is our lifelong friend. He was the mean kid that I saw in 4th grade that I was scared of because he got held back and it made me nervous. And I thought he had to be a bully.
Dude.
Yeah, I'm sure. So you played volleyball.
I can't believe y'all were scared of me.
I wasn't scared of Caleb. I thought Caleb was.
I started talking to Ben before Jacob, and that was
because we sat. Because remember in 4th grade, I think I sat in the row in front of you. If you remember that in Miss Wilson's class, and we were like.
That sounds right.
That's how we started talking. But I remember how I first knew you was when your dad coached baseball. You would show up sometimes with like plastic lightsabers outside of the game.
Yeah, I mean,
you would like run around and play with lightsabers.
I was there because the other brothers were playing. They were the sports.
Yeah.
So I just bring like random stuff.
Yeah, you would bring like lightsabers.
I play baseball too. I got my baseball bat. It's a lightsaber.
This is the real sport.
Anyway, so that's the rundown of Caleb, as quick as it could be.
Yeah.
Such a nice episode. All right, bro. All right. You do you. TTL. Anyway, tonight's special occasion, is the Halloween special. What we're going to do is I messaged these boys a little bit ahead of time and said, be thinking of some Harlan County lore, a true story.
I'm pretty sure you didn't message me about this.
I messaged
But I
you.
will rise to the challenge.
Rise to the challenge. Or a fictitious tale revolving around All Hallows Eve.
I could probably give more lore than make up a story.
How does he do that?
So,
Where shall we start with this? With Harlan County lore? Or?
let's go ahead and do some lore. I mean, we could.
I mean, there's a bunch of stuff going on. I just don't know what's good to talk about and what's not.
What do you mean?
I just know some stuff happening with some people, but I don't really want to air out some stuff.
Like hauntings, and Harlan County is under a haunt siege right now. Just ghouls running in the streets. Well, basically, yeah.
Ghouls and goblins are out right now.
El Goblino.
Let me think, actually.
One that comes to mind when I think of Harlan County lore, I go straight to the sweet Lady of Black Jail.
Yeah, I think that's the quintessential one.
Which
Heading
one?
toward Everett's.
Oh, is it? No, never mind. It's not the one. You go ahead and do yours. I'll bounce on to mine.
All right. So, Lady of Black Joe.
So spanked in the background.
Mom was tapping like a jar of peanut butter or something.
Oh, I didn't know you were getting.
Gotta wake up the nuts in it.
She's hungry, dude. Leave her alone.
But yes, Jacob, explain to us the lady or woman of Black Joe.
Yeah.
In Harlan County, there's a tale of the Lady of Black Joe, and that's if you're heading toward Everett's from Harlan, that's on the left. It's probably 5 minutes into your drive toward there, and there's a sign that says "Welcome to Black Joe" or something like that, just designating that this is the area. But the tale is that there's a woman that gets in your vehicle late at night between the hours of 12 and 3, the witching hour.
Oh my God.
She'll get in the vehicle with you. You'll see her, then she'll be in the back seat, and then she'll get out. And sometimes they'll throw in some tales of there's rules of you don't look in your back seat, you don't speak to her, stuff like that. But anyway, I have a true encounter with the Lady of Black Joe. This probably took place back in between 2011 and 2012. And basically, we were coming home. My dad was a pastor, and so we had this church van, and we took it to a concert. It was my father, me, my mother, and 2 other friends that we had. When we dropped them off, we took them to Everett's. So by the time we came back through, it was about 1 in the morning. And my dad was telling me about the Lady of Black Joe, which I've heard before. But I was real spooked out because we was on this big church bus. And I was sitting in the back, and I slowly worked my way up to the front. As we were leaving Everett's, and he was telling me the story of the Lady of Black Joe. He's like, "Oh, here's Black Joe coming up." He's like, "Oh wait, that ain't it. That ain't it." He's like, "Maybe it's up here." "Oh, yep, it's got to be up here." A couple more times he did that. Then he finally he's like, "Oh man, this is definitely Black Joe coming up." Believe it or not, there stood a woman at the sign, dressed in all black, at 1 in the morning, at the sign of Black Joe. I screamed my lungs out. My mother screamed hers out. I was going to die.
So it was like a real life woman.
Yes. And it was just luckily that she was there. It was really, I mean, it was just coincidence that she was there. I mean, it's probably just some crackhead.
I've never heard of it. That's
But
crazy.
it literally scared the shit out of me, though. I remember us screaming and my dad going white. Like he wasn't expecting it. It was like a ghost story.
Your dad's face after he said that. Like trying to prank you, and then he sees a woman, he's just like, oh.
But that's the Lady of Black Joe. I think, I can't remember if she was, the tale of it is she was like a bride left at the altar or something like that. But
Something like that, I think.
you know, all them classic small town legends, something around that aspect of it. But that's Lady of Black Joe, Harlan County lore right there. There's another one which I won't go into it. I think it's called like Headless Annie. Do you know that one, Ben?
I do not know this one.
Really? Well, I guess that's all that there is to that one.
It's kind of spooky. What is Headless Annie?
I don't know.
So, is this someone whose head you chopped off? You trying to?
I want my head back.
I didn't know we had. I've never heard of these. I've just I've never really looked into it though. I don't know. I wasn't interested in like a lot of ghost stuff when I was like super little. So like when I hit my teens, like I was starting to get interested, like, you know, watching ghost shows and stuff. So I never really looked into the folklore though.
I think I do think for how big and old Harlan County is, like I didn't really hear that many ghost stories. The Black Joe lady was kind of the famous one. I also remember there's some old coal mine site. I mean, I forget which one because there are 500 of them, but they said that, you know, certain nights you could see flashing lights that were supposed to be like
lanterns
from the dead miners and stuff.
I think that might be near Fairview, actually.
Yes, Fairview. Yeah. Yes. I think that was even in like, because growing up, my brother had these books like Kentucky Ghost Stories, and I think the story of that wasn't one of those, but I don't know what the actual explanation for it is. Maybe like natural gas or whatever that makes lights or something like that, but that was another one that I heard growing up.
Oh, boys. After 3 lasagna sandwiches,
Is it?
we're adding a Chapman to the call.
Heck.
Here we go, boys.
Yo.
Go, Darnell, what's up?
Nothing much, man.
Okay, Darnell, we're recording currently. We'll just throw you in. So I'll just say, Darnell, welcome to the show.
Yo.
Yeah, boy. So we got Ben, Darnell, Caleb, and myself all on one episode. Too much to handle.
It's crazy.
Anyway, so we're telling ghost stories, Darnell. Lore and stuff we heard. Have you ever heard of, and I just looked it up, so if you don't know, I can inform everybody of what it is, but Headless Annie.
I've heard somebody talk about it. People talk about it, but I don't remember exactly what it is. But I think I know the premise of it, kind of.
All right, straight from a website, I looked it up. This takes place in Black Mountain, and it was due to coal mining and stuff like that. So, according to the legend, around this time, there was a 12-year-old girl named Annie who lived on Big Black Mountain. Her father worked in the mines, and he became a very outspoken supporter about wanting the workers to form a union. He became a thorn in the side of the mining companies, and they wanted to make an example of him so that nobody else would dare to cross them. One night, the bosses sent a group of thugs out to Black Mountain. They dragged Annie and her father and mother out of bed and led them into the forest. First, they made Annie and her mother watch as they cut off her father's legs. Then they hung his body on a meat hook that they tied high up in a tree so he could bleed to death like a slaughtered pig.
It's always a meat hook.
Annie was forced to watch as they murdered her mother in the same grisly fashion. Then it was Annie's turn. The men chopped off her head and threw her body off a huge cliff that runs alongside the road. She lay there undiscovered for days while wild animals feasted on her carcass. Her murderers were never brought to justice. So, they say, if you're on Big Black Mountain after dark, which I don't really know who calls it Big Black Mountain besides this website, around the same time she died, they say you can see the ghost of Headless Annie wandering down the road. Some people claim to have seen her headless figure dressed in a nightgown and surrounded by an unearthly glow. They say when you pass by, she jumps onto the hood of your car.
Dude. Bricks would be shot.
Dude, they need to make a horror movie about this.
Honestly.
Then she checks to see if any of your windows are down. If she finds an open window, she'll try to reach in and try to take your head. So interesting. I honestly didn't know the full thing about that. I knew it had to do something with Black Mountain and mining, but I didn't know that it was a younger girl that got her head chopped off, basically.
I wonder if any part of that is remotely true. It would be insane if it is.
I mean, like a couple of miles from my house, there's a place, or like you go past, you can go to like Kingsport that way, but there's like a mine, the miners and this like, and some of the like higher security got into like a shootout up there. Killed like a couple of people like in the 20s. So, I mean, and then that one documentary about Harlan County.
Yeah.
Where I think there was a guy that got shot in there because of the mining conflict. So, I mean, it's possible that it could have happened, knowing what people did back in the day.
Going beast mode.
So there's that one too. Any more lore? Darnell, do you know any, being of African heritage, do you know any, like, I don't know, lore that was passed down to you that was mentioned, like, by your grandfather or your mother?
Not really, no.
Just
Not
white
that I
people?
can think of right now, but I know of another place or another thing. Red Dog Road.
Yep.
You remember that?
I don't remember that one.
Is that the same?
Yeah, I got something pulled up right here if you want me to read it.
Read it, bro.
Recount us the tale.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Okay, Red Dog Road. This road has been haunted by mysterious lights which flicker from tree to tree.
Yes.
If one is quiet at a certain fork in the road, you can hear someone or something walking in the woods above the road. A huge shadowed specter has been seen several times standing in the middle of the road. The legend tells of a jealous coal miner who in the 1930s shot and killed another miner as he exited the mine one evening. The story is that he killed the wrong man and his spirit still roams Red Dog Road looking for his killer.
That's honestly horrifying.
That is kind of scary.
That's cool. Might have
Man,
called
if
it
I
free.
had a couple $1 million, we could make a good movie.
Honestly. Found footage or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Braxton, if you listen to this.
Braxtino De La Font, please.
Yes. Use this in your pitch for your next film.
So, any more lore? I mean, now true. I got another one, quick one, another true. It ain't really like a ghost story, but my mom, I grew up kind of weird, so like we would do these unsolved mystery cases growing up. My mom would print one off. We'd cut off all of the lights in the house and cut off TVs and stuff, and we'd go through it, me, her, and my dad, and sometimes my sister. And one of them was Little Shepherd Trail. And it was about a teacher new to the area that got murdered on that trail.
Yeah.
And it was solved, quote unquote, but it was the last person that saw her, I think it was a black man, and at those times that was kind of just the scapegoat of who they pinned it on. So they really didn't catch who done it. But Little Shepherd Trail is very, I guess, not populated, but active on hiking and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I always thought that's in the back of my mind every time I go hiking anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you hike on Little Shepherd Trail, you definitely, maybe that's just the woods in general, but sometimes it feels like it has a bit of a vibe to it, you know?
Yeah, good spooky.
That's maybe just the woods in general, but
anyone encountered any ghosties?
I mean, I'll just get mine out of the way and say I've had a pretty ghost-free existence so far, which I know some of us in this podcast right now have not had that. I'm haunted by my failures and my family's medical history.
Well, it's kind of dark because it is kind of true.
No, man, like that's. I mean, not to be dramatic, but really, by the time I was like, I've always been more scared by like real things, like the possibility of dying of diseases and what if a train runs over me, and just like things that like might actually happen instead of, you know, like Bagul rising from the depths of Atlantis and stabbing you. Stabbing you with a harpoon.
That is true. On the serious note of being like the true fears, like, I mean,
yeah,
it's funny, like you think as a kid, like, oh man, I'm scared of this and that, but honestly, you're scared of them finding something on your medical record, or not medical record, but like you go to the doctor and they're like, well, we found something that we can't explain because that's the worst word you could ever hear.
Yeah. Yeah, I would rather get a Bagul any day than...
Like Darnell last week, he went to the doctor and they said, Darnell, we can't explain this, but we found a Barbie's head up your ass.
I thought you were going to say he's great with child.
Oh, God.
There's no father.
Well,
the Force.
I mean, just to go on that, like, God, I remember going to the doctor for, stomach problems, and knowing now it was just gallbladders, but like, I had to drink that one, like, just kind of milky substance that they did the X-ray.
Yeah.
And we're in there, and the dude's talking to the nurse, and he just points at the screen. He's like, "You see that? That's not supposed to be there." And I'm just sitting there, just sweating now. Like, oh God, dude!
That really is the worst.
Yeah, and go back to the room, and I was sitting there waiting for the results, and doc comes in. He's like, "Well, we kind of found something on your pancreas." And my heart just sank, dude. I was like, "That's it, dude. It's over.
It's over.
It's over." It's like you never really. I've never really had those like fears, but like ever since then, it's just like I don't know. As you get older, it's just like it just seems more likely something really bad like that would just happen one day. Now.
Yeah, I totally feel that. This. I know this is like a tangent, but just really quickly, like that's the worst thing about medical professionals is like obviously they're never going to care about your problem or like your fear as much as you are, so like they're just going to casually be like, oh yeah, what is this thing? This is weird. What is this?
Yeah.
Like sweating bullets over there in the
It
corner.
might not even, like, it just might be a casual, like, oh, that's just kind of weird. Like,
Yeah.
not really meaning anything, but to you, just
But
hearing
you're like, oh,
inside you, you're like, oh man, that's it.
what did I do to deserve this?
Get the will
Like
ready to.
Like I know my dad, like in the career that he's in, medical wise, like they'll ask him like, so did you see anything? And he cannot say what he saw or anything because he's not the guy that gives that result to him.
Sucks.
And so he'll already know, like, if you got something wrong with you.
What is he supposed to say if someone does that?
Like, I just lie, basically. Just
Yeah.
say, well, I don't really know. Can't determine it.
I imagine if he says I can't say, that would just be, it'd pretty much be confirmed. Like, oh, he saw something.
Oh, he saw
He saw something.
But yeah.
I feel like whatever answer he gives, the person's probably terrified.
That would be worse than yes, I can't say.
Secrets. Your fate will be revealed soon.
Go wait
Okay,
for 40
keep your
minutes to
secrets.
just think about it.
Yikes. But anyway, yeah, I did not really, I've never really experienced anything. Although the only place I have really had bad vibes on like maybe something approaching a paranormal level is definitely at your old house, Jake.
The old double wide in what was known as Gatham, Kentucky, which is in Harlan. It's just a small community. Yeah, man, that's some bad vibes back there. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Caleb, you ever have any?
Just that one thing I told you about when I was real little, like seeing like that shadow person.
Well, tell us about it. Tell us, bro.
I mean, I was like, God, 5, and it could be a dream, but I could still remember it so vividly. It was I don't know where we lived. It was like in Harlan, but it was just on this big rocky mountain, and I just remember waking up from because I was in the parents' bedroom. I just woke up, went to the kitchen, and there's just somebody standing there in the kitchen. And it was just pure black. And I was just freaking out. Like, I can remember hitting it and everything. It's so vivid, but I couldn't tell you what happened after that.
Huh.
But, I mean, as far as, like, ghost stuff, there's nothing really big. But other than that, that one's just always stuck with me. I don't know.
So was it just your imagination, or
I
like
again, I was just so
a
young.
sleepwalking thing or something?
I just, like, just going in the kitchen. Like, I can remember the counters and, like, the chairs and everything.
Mhm.
It's just so vivid. Like, it really stuck with me after it. But, God. Like, I swear, I can remember, like, hitting it and just feeling it. Like, it just felt like a person.
Huh. That's awful.
Like, I mean, I was like a dumb kid. I mean, it probably was a dream, but
That actually reminds me. I do have to take that back. Like, there is one. I'm not even sure I'd call it paranormal, but just like truly strange thing I saw, which was I was probably maybe like 5 years old. And I was staying at my grandma's house, and it was like at night after everyone had gone to sleep, and there were like these curtains, and some of the street light from outside was shining in, so the curtain kind of were lit up. But I remember, I swear I looked at these curtains and I thought I saw like a face in the curtains, and it was like moving, and I couldn't really do anything but just sit there and watch it happen in like utter horror. But I don't know, I want to say that it was obviously it was like nothing.
like some guy or something, maybe, or even a prank.
God, I hope not.
Was it just the face, or, I mean...
Well, like the curtains themselves sort of like made like a face kind of thing. So like, yeah, I want to say when you're that age, you see things, you know.
Yeah.
You just choose to see things because your imagination is running on all cylinders at that age, you know.
Yeah.
I hope that's the answer. I hope it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean that's how I feel. I feel like
Yeah.
it was just like imagination, but it was just like as a kid, just so intense, like it just stuck
Yeah.
with me.
Yeah, for sure.
That's called like pareidolia or something like that, where you see like faces and things.
Yeah.
What's
They
it
put that
called?
in, I think it's called like pareidolia. I'm probably saying that totally wrong. It's like they associate that more with like seeing that in the clouds and stuff. Like, you know, people make out like, oh, that looks like the
Yeah.
face of God.
Yeah, you see faces in everyday shapes and objects and stuff.
Man, I regret doing this recording at night now because I'm in the spare bedroom alone with every light in the house cut off except this
There's a
lamp.
little goblin just running at you, dude.
Nah, just my son, I guess.
Yes, on them. Remember that time you showed Gabe and Cassidy that video of that kitchen goblin or something?
I do remember showing my younger nephew and niece. They showed them a kitchen goblin. Dude, they're freaking out.
Did they? Oh, I love that video. It cracks me up.
Video.
It's just like a little, like 2-inch goblin running across some like Ecuadorian kitchen, dude.
Wait, I gotta see this. Is it scary?
No, it's funny.
it's
I mean, to
funny.
us, it's funny. It's just like, I mean, it's literally like the size of like a bottle cap goblin running across the kitchen floor.
But so
I just watched it. It's hilarious.
reaction vid.
Looks like
So forth.
Crazy Frog ran across the floor or something.
Crazy frog.
Or if you were just in your kitchen, you saw it just like climb up under your stove. Or something.
Oh, Crazy Frog ran across my kitchen floor.
That's great.
I found like this. You ever heard of this? I found a website on here. It's called Wattpad or Wattpad,
Yeah,
and there's a
it's got stories.
yes. It's like WATTPAD, and there's a page on there called Harlan County Horrors,
Really?
and they've got like a bunch of stories on there if you want to read some of them. If you got your computer, you could probably find it.
I wonder who's up there just posting stuff like that.
It's kind of odd. So, Darnell, any experiences in the supernatural?
No, not really. Just like if you're just like those weird feelings at home at night where you think like somebody's looking at you or something, but like mainly just like you're being like a little kid in your mind, playing tricks on you and stuff. Really, I haven't really had any like experiences or anything like that are like paranormal or anything.
It's funny like how, like, I don't know, when I was a kid, I remember my parents like, you'll grow out of it, dude. I'm still terrified of the dark, to be honest. Like, I cut the lights out and I go running.
Like, I'm not like as big in paranormal as like I used to be. But like if I hear something scratch on the wall, my mind will still immediately go like, "Oh, there's like some demon on the other side of that. It's about to come get me."
Gosh, yeah, stuff like that. I mean, cutting the lights out, or let's see, there's something that scared me. Oh, see, we got rabbits pretty big up here in our yard, and I'll get out of my car about 4 a.m. and be heading in, and one just go like jutting out.
Yeah.
It'll scare the shit out of me. But yeah, so we got.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a big rat, and like I was walking the dog around town, and the big rat just ran across us. Dude, scared the crap out of me.
Just a crackhead.
It's a crackhead.
Crack rat.
That you saw the rat with the hat on from Bob's Burgers.
The rat with a hat.
So,
Oh, good.
I mean, what was you gonna say, Caleb? Go ahead.
It's more about the rats. I mean, like that. The church, like you know where I live.
Yeah.
Like instead of like turning left into here, you keep driving down. There's that church on the right. What is that church? You know what I'm talking about? I can't. It's like near the funeral home over there on the right.
Oh, that's either the Methodist? Is that the Methodist church
I'm not sure.
or the Episcopal? Well, that ain't right.
Well, I mean, you know
Whatever
what
that
I'm
word
talking
is.
about.
Yeah, I know. Right beside the health department.
Yeah, dude.
Presbyterian.
There you go.
Me, Jordan, and Mom were just out walking one night, and oh crap, Bella part, sorry. Yeah, we get walking by this bush, and like all of a sudden, dude, I swear to God, we saw a rat. I only saw the bottom half of it, but it was probably as big as my foot.
Jeez.
Yeah, and that thing just like beelined it like under the bush, like into the building.
That's awful.
It was crazy. But now I'm like,
Waiting for its
I'm
next
just thinking there's like
victim.
I'm thinking there's like a whole nest of them in there now.
There's bigger ones than that one, boy.
I could not imagine.
You ever watch a movie called let's see, I think it's called Graveyard Shift, Stephen King?
Mm-mm.
I haven't.
I recommend watching this movie. It's kind of outlandish, but there's a giant rat bat crossbreed in this thing. And it's
Bat.
rat bat, yes. Like some hybrid thing.
Is it just a rat with bat wings, or? Because that'd be pretty cool.
Something like that, yeah. Now, quick note on real creatures that are kind of creepy that I don't like thinking about. Sloth bears. I saw that at the Tampa Zoo 2 years ago. Yeah, dude, it is literally a sloth in the body of a bear. It's not right.
Cutie.
I don't know them claws, man. That just imagine that thing waiting for you.
Oh, that's a baby, dude. I like how it looks. Looks
Yeah.
fluffy.
He's a goofy looking dog.
It's a goofy dog.
Their dog.
Before I go on to like my own personal experiences, and you've been mentioning something about having creepy feelings about the old house that I lived in with my parents and stuff. One local legend that we beat to death was the glove factory.
Ah, yes. How could we forget?
You can't forget that. Now, I will say, I was telling somebody about this at work, about the glove factory, that the story behind it is that it's cursed or something like that. Like, if you go up there, you'll start having car problems. When my cousin Trent went up there the first time, he found out afterwards he had stolen plates on a vehicle that he had recently bought. And they were trying to arrest him outside of work. Then, you'd be like, oh, that's just coincidence. And the second time we took my vehicle and I hit a fence, which that was totally my fault. Anybody that's had fence problems in the last, 4 years, 5 years, it wasn't me. I'm sorry, I was just a dumb kid reaching for my phone.
I think it's still there. I don't think they fixed it.
No, they fixed it. I saw it. Yep.
It's been a while.
Yeah, we ain't gonna talk about that no more. But
I remember you telling me that.
Glove Factory used to be an elementary school, Elzo Guthrie, and that's toward Liggett and stuff like that.
Did I go up there with you guys once?
I can't remember. We took everybody up there, it seems like, at least once.
I know I've went to one place with y'all, but I can't remember if that was the Glove Factory or not.
Was it like an abandoned building?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it used to be an elementary school, and I don't know if there's anything in between this and that, but it was turned into a glove factory. Now it's an abandoned building, no gloves, but it's pretty just ragged and on the rocks. And we just went up there a lot because that's just what teenagers did. Just go up there and probably crackheads in there. Think about it now. It was kind of stupid for us going up there unarmed.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's like the meth area was just right behind, like right down the road from it.
Yeah, probably so. Probably so. And we probably could have got shanked or something.
Shit.
It was, yeah. Now, and then another thing I will say, besides scaring you guys at one time while y'all were filming, that was great. But me and Trent went up there one time to scout, and we went up there and we was getting ready to enter, and we were like, wait a second. And we heard something walking in there, and it could be a rat or something. Or water dropping, but it was like so inconsistent, like somebody walking and then stopping to listen to what we were doing. And we were like, you know what, we ain't got a good feeling about this. The only thing we got is a pocket knife. And we were like, let's get the heck out of Dodge. So we just left. And I'm probably thankful for us being that smart that time.
Do you think someone was in there?
Probably. I think it's a possibility.
So it was like footsteps, but it would stop to listen to you.
Yeah, it was really just so inconsistent. Like, it couldn't be water dropping. I mean, I guess it could be water dropping, but it was really strange. It gave you that weird feeling of this could definitely be somebody in there, and we're not going to mess with them.
Like, that place is like 2 stories, isn't it?
No.
Does that have a second floor? Oh, I thought it did.
No, I just had like chutes, like I guess they had like ventilation systems, and so like it's empty now.
I mean, it's like a huge building. Like, if some homeless dude wanted to get high there, I mean, there's like little chance of him getting caught. Because even then, you have to go down a back road and then turn like left up to it, go up a little hill. So I mean, it's just really out of the way. There's no telling who's just up there.
Probably a whole lot of asbestos in there too.
Oh,
we were all breathing it in freely. Yeah, we did a lot of stupid stuff, man. Looking back, turned 18 and went just dumb.
Wasn't that stupid?
I don't know. I feel like that was pretty stupid. And driving up to Martin's Fork late at night, where people go to shoot up.
Yeah, I do remember the one time that we did that, and I think there was someone like in a car, just kind of like curled up, hungover or whatever. But I mean, that's to be expected. You could go anywhere at 11 p.m. and find someone in a shitty old Toyota, doped up. But
Toyota Avalon, 2003.
I was nervous going down those back roads with a Darnell because you just like you get back there and it's just like they're really like ignorant rednecks, dude. Like the just really, like racist kind.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Like on the way to Martinsford Lake, you'll see like 12 Confederate flags and like some guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's probably not the smartest idea of bringing a Darnell, but you know what? Forget the racist.
You would see signs with like shotgun like holes in them on the way down there.
yeah,
It's crazy.
You're in the wrong neighborhood. But anyway, let's see.
It's time for you. It's time for you to tell us about your twisted childhood.
Dude, I really, I mean, I don't even know where it begins, but I can jump in. There's different things that I could say over the course of years, and I really cannot pin down. I can pin down like probably a 10-year time span, and that's about it. Or 7-year time span. But I couldn't tell you how old I was. Actually, I could pin down a couple of those, but let's see here. But I mean, I had some weird experiences, and I would say my sister had even weirder experiences compared to myself. And our theory on that is my sister is she's battling cancer right now, but the first 2 times she came very close to death with complications of different sorts during her battles with Hodgkin's lymphoma and whatever spawned off of it. But we believe that, and I know it kind of sounds cheesy and probably generic, but she came close to death, and so it's kind of like she made contact of some sort, or she can see some sort of veil pulled to the side. But speaking on my own personal experiences, maybe I can get her to talk about those sometime. But my own personal ones, I can remember my mom telling me from a young age that one morning I woke up, I was getting ready for preschool, and I was in the hallway when we lived in Teachersville, and she said something about, I said, the bloody man's coming, and she didn't understand it at the time, and it still could be a coincidence thing, and that's why I'm starting out with something so young and so vague. It could be coincidental, but she was like, no, it's okay. She said I was like fearful of it, and I sort of remember what I was looking at the time, and it could be just full on imagination. But anyway, she went to work, dropped me off at preschool. Within the same few hours, 9/11 happened.
Jesus.
And so she always ties that back to that. Maybe that was some sort of warning.
It's a hell of a jump.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But, I mean, coincidental or not, who knows. But true stuff that I remember as I got older.
Saw vision in the flames. 2 towers burning. Thousands of voices screaming.
Can I just interject real quick? Just
There you go.
It's just a short story. Your little like a bloody man just reminded me. I once like drew like this really creepy like picture of a girl once at my grandmother's, and my dad saw it. And he's like, "Who's that?" And like I don't know why. I guess just to be an asshole. I was like, that's like the girl. You know, I see her all the time. You don't see her. I was probably like 8. I was just breaking it. He got real like concerned.
Like, oh God.
Gotta take this kid to therapy.
He's freaky. He's like, what do you mean you see her all the time? I'm like, she's just always here. He's cracking up, dude.
It's the witch in the back.
Oh no.
You're cooking up a brew. What'd you say, Darnell?
Stirring the chili, man.
Stirred.
Chili.
The Halloween chili.
Oh man.
So I don't mean to take the spotlight. I'm just trying to keep us on track here so we don't do no 5 hours.
And I was putting this right.
Spotlight is on you. That's clear.
So when we moved to, I would say there's more activity that happened, and we did move due to Kristen having cancer because we couldn't afford where we were living anymore. So we lived in you'd call it a hand-me-down trailer in our family.
Mm-hmm.
And just really, I mean, it had been around. You could tell it had been around a long time by the time we got to it. But so we moved into it to be able to survive above water. And that's kind of the experiences I remember the most of just different things. Like I remember, like my sister would joke about like hearing children and stuff. And where I lived, I mean, the closest child probably would be a mile down the road, and it's a one-way, and definitely not safe for a child or more than one child at that. So there's no reason for one to be around my house. And very creepy. I mean, you'd hear like laughter and stuff, but I'd have creepy vibes. The backyard reminded me of, I guess, a Kentucky version of the backyard in Sinister, that opening scene of the tree.
Yeah.
I always thought of that, like, after that movie came out, and I was like, I don't like walking back there. But, I mean, a couple instances. There was this one time I had a dream. I'm starting off again with something more vague, which this one is kind of specific once I get to the end of it. But I had this dream. I was in the house, and I had woken up, and I had walked down to the washer and dryer, which was down the hallway in between a master bedroom and the bathroom. And in the washer was a demon, for whatever reason, was a demon. And it was going nuts in there. Well, I didn't think anything of it. Like, I thought that was a creepy area in our house. Didn't think anything of it. Well, I can't remember how we got to it, but maybe a month went by or something. And my mom, or my sister, starts talking about a dream she had. It was the same dream. I hadn't said anything. I hadn't told anybody about my dream. My mom goes, "That's weird, because I had a similar dream." And then I speak up and say, "You know what? I had that dream too." And for whatever reason, that was kind of just strange, of three people having the same dream, not telling each other about it, and it all being in the washer and a demon. I don't know. Like, I don't know what the relevance there was.
The demon in the washer.
But the scariest times, I remember, I was probably, let's see, let me give you a year on this, because I remember a book came out, and I was reading this book. It was Full Dark, No Stars by Stephen King. It was short stories. It came out in 2010. So I would have been 14. Yeah, I definitely would have been 14. So I was reading this book of short stories, and like, I wasn't on a scary story at that time. I was staying up late. It was probably around 11 or 12. And I was laying in my bed, and my room was set up. My bed ran along the wall parallel, and my door was adjacent from my bed. And, you know, sometimes you just, and it's strange now because I don't do this, but I slept with my door open. I turned the light out, TV on, door open. For whatever reason, that made me feel safe. I don't do that now because I feel the opposite.
I feel like the open doors is bad idea.
Yeah, it is definitely a bad idea. So I'm sitting there reading my book, and I still try to justify maybe I was tired or something. Laying there on the bed reading, and you know how you feel when somebody's staring at you. So I look up because I felt like somebody was staring at me, and I was wide awake. Look up, and I see the bottom half. God, man, this gives me chills. Bottom half of a woman dressed in a white dress, very generic like that, walk out of my room. And to this day, that just gives me chills thinking about, because
What was your reaction when you saw this?
my reaction, dude, it was honestly just frozen fear. I think I had to use the bathroom up until that point, and then I was like, I'm not leaving my room tonight. And so I sat there in fear, basically. And I think I turned over, and I left my light on and just slept. Like, there was, like, after I'd calmed down some. But it was, like, I mean, at the time, I think, let's see, nobody in my house wore nightgowns like that, especially not my father.
That's what he wants you to think.
But, like, I mean, but it was like a true white dress. Like, somebody wearing that in the middle of the night doesn't make sense. And the thing is, nobody died in that house. And nobody died in that house. And it's been in the family since then. It's out of the family now. They sold it. But that was a strange occurrence. Another occurrence. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, didn't you have like a creepy like aunt or something who owned it for a bit?
No.
Okay. Real quick though, your mic's I don't know if it's just me. Your mic's just kind of got a ring to it.
My mic here. Let me mute it real quick.
It was all right to me.
Okay, then it might just be me then.
I think it might be
If it's just
Darnell's
me,
mic.
keep going then. Oh, okay. I mean, if nobody else here, it's probably me.
So, another occurrence. I mean, I had a lot of different occurrences, and I'd always would feel like somebody was in my bedroom. So my bedroom was, if you walked in our house, you walked into the kitchen, going forward, you'd go into the living room, and if you looked right, you looked down the hallway, there was a bedroom on the left wall, and straight ahead was another bedroom, which became mine. But you would always be like watching a movie or something and feel like something was in that bedroom down there. But I remember one time going to the bathroom late at night. I'd wash my face. I was an acne boy, so you'd have to wash that face every night. And I was washing my face. Parents were in bed. I heard footsteps run across. Now, whole house was carpeted except the bathroom and the right in front of the washer and dryer and the kitchen. I heard footsteps outside, right where the washer and dryer were. It was It sounded like kids' footsteps run, multiple pairs run across that. I threw the door open, ran into my parents' bedroom. I would probably been about 15 at this point in time. Ran to my parents' bedroom, turned the light on, and I said, "Did anybody else hear that?" And they were like dead asleep.
God.
I don't know, man. That stuff like that messes with me. But I'd rather not see something than see something.
Sounds like you've had the most experience of it, like all
Yeah, yeah. Like all the rest of us were like, yeah, I saw a thing when I was 5.
Yeah.
It's like every 3 months, like it. It's actually,
I mean, it really was. I don't know. I don't understand why. And I think about like maybe I dabbled in something too much. Maybe like just like because they say if you give like demons names or something like that, then like if you think you have like a certain type of demon, you look it up and it's got a name. If you associate that name with it, then it's like more active. But let's see.
I've never like I don't know, as I go, especially as I get older, like demons and ghosts, like I'm just kind of falling out of like believing in it, but like I still like I think demons as like a concept is just like really interesting.
Very interesting.
Like just going in to read about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see, at the time of these like hauntings and stuff, I was like reading heavily about them, and so that's why I associate like maybe I was giving too much into it. No, I mean, not the believing wise of like maybe I was believing too much. I think I shouldn't have been dabbling in what I was dabbling in.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of any other experiences. I know one, and I will speak on my sister's behalf on this one. But we had her friend over. Her friend and her friend's nieces were over, and I was younger. And we were at the house by ourselves. And we're like watching, I think there's Finding Nemo on and stuff like that. And so my sister was getting ready in the bathroom. Well, she said that she was like, she saw me walk by in the hallway from the mirror. It was a trifold. Well, I don't know what it called, but it was a triple mirror. It was like 3 very thin, not thin, slim mirrors, I guess. And it was, so she saw me walk by and thought it was weird. And she said, "Jacob," and I respond from the kitchen, which was not the area that I was heading in the mirror. And I go, "What?" And she comes right out of the bathroom and go, "Swear to God, you just didn't come down the hallway and then come back." I said, "No, I've been sitting in this kitchen for like 20 minutes now playing this game." And I just saw the fear flush over. She's like, "I saw you wearing a white shirt walk down the hallway," which is weird. Again, white, the color white, appearing in some form of spectre.
Hey, real quick, is Darnell muted?
Yeah, I'm muted.
Okay, I muted him, but I didn't think he'd mute it for everybody. So I don't know how Skype works.
You silent.
I saw the icon like just now, like, oh wait, I don't think anybody can hear.
Dude, tell that story about that figure with the top hat, or like that old fashioned hat.
That's a good one. I forgot
That me a while ago.
I just love that Jake has like 900 stories and everyone else is like, oh.
It really is, and I always feel like nobody's going to believe me because I have so many stories. But I can honestly say in the last couple years, and I will say maybe 3 years ago, I did have an odd experience, but nothing quite on these levels. But I have so many stories, and I feel like somebody's like, well, he's just making it up. I have no reason to make it up. I don't gain anything from it. It honestly freaks me out. So, yeah, leaving this bedroom tonight is going to be a challenge. I was going to go play some video games. I think I'm just going to make a run for it and risk waking my child.
I don't have like a lot of experience, but like I love horror as like a genre. Like we're just talking about like broad horror stuff. I'm all about it. Like I'm into cosmic horror right now. I think that shit's so cool.
Some Lovecraft stuff.
Lovecraft, like I just watched that. Sorry if I keep going off of tangents, but that Event Horizon. I don't know if you guys seen that. It was a really dope movie, dude.
Good movie. That ending.
Yeah, dude. Do what?
The Void's a good one, also.
Yeah, dude. I love that movie too.
I've been meaning to watch Event Horizon. Do you recommend it?
Yeah, dude. It's really good. I mean, you've seen the game like Dead Space, right?
Yeah.
That they took the inspiration from that movie to make that game.
Oh, okay.
It's really good.
So I'll jump to this story, and if Darnell, if you remember any other stories that I've said over the years, you can go ahead with them, but and point them out to me. But this was weird. And it's funny now because I read the. Let's see, I think it's called the Paranormal, and it's Ed and Lorraine Warren's experiences. I read that a couple years ago now, but when I was growing up, during all this weird stuff, I would have these dreams about. It wasn't really like a dream. It was like imagination. It's hard to explain, but it was like I thought of somebody standing in my doorway wearing a top hat, leaned. He like leaned a certain way, and it was like if I remember correctly, I think it was like a detective's like kind of hat, not a top hat.
Like a Sherlock Holmes hat?
No, not like that, but like a, know, like somebody in like the 1930s would wear, like a businessman.
Sort of thing.
Like a fedora?
Yeah, there you go. I couldn't remember it, but it was fedora.
Fedora, yeah.
So my sister, and so all these years passed, and we're older now. We was in for like Thanksgiving or Christmas or something because we didn't live there anymore. Well, I was like, my sister was sitting on the bed in my parents' old bedroom, and I was sitting in there with her, and she had one of her kids, and she's like, "Have you ever seen anything in the doorways here?" And I said, "That's funny." And I said, "Wait a second." I said, "Just so I know you ain't messing with me and I'm not messing with you," I said, "Let's write on our phones, like on the notes, what exactly we saw." And she's like, "Okay, that works." She's like, and she started out, and I think it started out like, what was the gender of the thing that stood in the doorway? And I went over to a corner. I typed out male. We flipped over. We said 3, 2, 1. Flipped it around. We both had male. I was like, okay, well, that's 50-50.
Yeah.
What were they doing was the question. What were they doing? I went over my corner, put leaning. 3, 2, 1. Flipped them around. We both had leaning. Dude, I got tears in my eyes right now. This is real. Help me. So I was like, okay, that's really weird because of all the things they could have been doing. So we're like, well, okay. What were they wearing? Dude, I remember I got goosebumps on me right now. I remember going to my corner and I was like, I know you're going to type the exact same thing I am. I think it was actually before that. It was which way were they leaning, and I was like, okay, if they were looking in, we're going to put on what side they were leaning. So if they were standing in the doorway, this would be left, this would be right. We both put left on our notes, and then it got to what were they wearing specifically, and we both wrote down fedora. And I mean, what are the odds of that? I don't even know. Somebody can run the numbers on that, but
psychotic.
It's psychotic.
Just wearing a fedora, it just cracks me up.
Yeah.
Elite.
And like for her, she said she actually saw it, and for me, it was like I thought of it. Like I thought it. And reading the Ed and Lorraine thing, Lorraine, the writer, was discussing like how she saw things was she actually saw them and her husband kind of dreamed about them. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was kind of odd whenever I was reading that, and I was like, well, I feel like I relate to that just the tiniest bit. But yeah, that was very strange. And quickly on, the last thing I can remember that's happened to me that was kind of creepy, I was at my apartment at Georgetown Oaks. Oh yeah, they did me right, so 5 stars. Anybody want to live there? There you go. We were living there, and my wife was she was either doing hair and makeup somewhere or something, I don't know. Probably hanging out with friends. But she was doing hair and makeup at a friend's house in Georgetown. So anyway, she was gone the whole evening. I'm like, I'm gonna watch me some movies. So I sat in my living room. I watched the movie Creep. Good movie, I recommend.
Who's it star?
Nobody big.
Oh.
It's a POV. And it's basically this guy is dying. I think he's got cancer or something. He's dying, and so he wants to film all these moments with his unborn child that he's not going to have. Like he gets in a bathtub and he's like, "Yeah, we're bathing you and stuff." But then it gets weirder and weirder, and I won't ruin the movie for anybody. But highly recommend. I think it's on Netflix. So I watched that, and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of creepy." And I called my mom, which is funny. I'll probably be made fun of, but I called my mom in the evenings and stuff and checked on her, and then I called my sister. And I was like, yeah, I just watched this movie. It's good. You guys need to watch it. Then I hung up the phone. I started the second one. And I mean, this movie isn't like a paranormal or anything like that. So I'm just sitting there watching it, and it's the opening scene of the second movie, Creep 2. I hear footsteps. I mean, I did live in an apartment, but I know the different footsteps within my own unit. Mm-hmm. I heard footsteps in my kitchen. Hey, dude, it freaked me out. That was and I called. I can't remember who I called, but I called them immediately and was like, you know what? Talk to me while I just glance around the apartment a little bit. I'm by myself and I'm freaked out. But nothing. I didn't find anything. Never had any weirder experiences than that. And thank God I have not had any experiences besides that. And I had another thought, but we'll come back to me in a minute. But yeah, that's the last kind of weird thing that's happened.
You might as well just get it out, man. Get it all out. Just exercise all of it.
Get these demons out of me. No. So, my mother, when we lived at the trailer in Gatham, Harlan, Kentucky, she started having sleep paralysis, old hag syndrome. Is what they call it. Yeah, bro.
Something weird.
Dude, you freaked me out.
Something just happened weird right now.
Dude, no. Dude, shut up.
It's not like weird like that, but my mom and my aunt were in there talking about sleep paralysis just now.
What the hell,
started talking about it
what
right
the hell?
Exact moment. I'm not lying.
Dude.
On No cap on God, boys. I'm swearing.
Oh my God.
Dude, no.
Dude, it's Bagul. Bagul's gonna come and...
Why would you say that?
Jacob, what's that around your shoulder, dude?
Shut up, man. I'm freaking
That's like a weird coincidence. I had to bring it up right then in that moment.
Dude, that's pretty spooky. Weird. What are the chances of that happening?
You can get back to whatever you're saying, though.
Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know, man.
Dude, I think there's a presence in the room with you right now. I would be wise about what you say next.
If your kid, like, if your wife just sent your kid there with like a scary mask, would you just deck them right now? Just because you're so on edge?
I'd probably shit myself because I really gotta use the bathroom. I ain't doing that. I'm just holding it in.
I can switch topics if you want to take a break.
No, man. No, we gotta. This is the Halloween special. That was too much right there for me, boys. My blood pressure's up. I ate too many road chicken tacos and cake today. So anyway, man. Okay. My mother started having sleep paralysis, and I mean, I don't know how to explain my beliefs. I don't really got to explain them to anybody, but I mean, I believe in God. I believe in Jesus and stuff. So I believe it was sent. It was a blessing, meant to be during the times my mom did have sleep paralysis. There was one night I stayed up a little late extra. Well, I was in the bathroom. I come out and I hear, and my mom was in like deep sleep. But I was like, my mom does not talk in her sleep, and it sounded like help. And I go in there, and I'm like, Mom, wake up. And it's hard to wake her up because sleep paralysis, the science of it, the dumbed down science that I can explain that's been explained to me is your brain's awake, but your body isn't.
Yeah.
So you see things, people see demons, see aliens, see people in the room, whatnot. I don't want to see no aliens, I'll say that much.
I always thought that we're just scared more of aliens than demons.
I'm more scared of aliens than demons.
I love aliens. I think they're cool.
I mean, they're cool, but they're also, I don't want to see one.
I don't know. I think alien over a demon.
Well, like, so there's like seeing a UFO, and then there's like actually seeing.
Scenario. Would you rather have like just a demon walk up to you or an alien? Like, you don't know what they're gonna do.
How about neither? I mean, I'd probably kill myself in either situation.
No cap. I see an alien. I'm killing myself. There's no coming back, man. There is no coming back from seeing an alien. It's like, well, they exist, so here I go. So she had sleep paralysis.
Just keep going. It's not important.
Are you sure? Are you sure, Bobby?
Yeah, just go.
So anyway, so she had sleep paralysis, and every time she had it, either I had stayed up late for some odd reason and I heard her, or my dad had heard her going through it. And like, when you wake up from something that intense, you start crying and stuff. Like, you can't handle it. You start like hyperventilating and stuff like that. Because I mean, it's real. It's real in that moment of you see whatever figure your mind wants you to see. Well, when I started dating my now wife, when we started dating, Kelsey and I, we take naps at the house. Well, she was laying in my bed one day. It's hard to wake her up. She's starting to like kind of cry in her sleep. She starts having sleep paralysis. She had never had that before, but she had it at my house for the first time. And then there was another time after that, and I'll move on from this. And she hasn't had it much since then, but there's a few different times. There's one time she was asleep, and I was laying there with her, and she was going through it. I woke her up. Or no. Before that, I said if there's a presence in the room, I said it real softly. She was like snoring, sleeping. I said, let yourself be known. I don't know why. I guess I was in one of those moods to fudge around with some demons.
You get freaking on.
Yeah.
I guess so, man. And so she started doing the sleep paralysis thing of kind of whining in her sleep, and I wake her up and she started crying. But she goes back to sleep. And these boys know me well. I don't stop. I don't know my limits. So I said, she's asleep, snoring again. And I go, if that was you, do it again. And by God, within 30 seconds, it started going again. So, yeah, there's something out there, no doubt. Do I want to mess with it anymore? No. I got a kid now.
You've already done it, though.
And I already done it, so
You've already done it.
The ghoul is already attached to you.
Uh-huh.
I ain't messing with no Ouija boards. I ain't doing nothing like that. Unless we're going to Chin's place. Chin, let us know. We'll come conjure up some Asian spirits there, but not here.
Do you, I mean, your family's always been active with this from all the stories. I mean, do you ever think, like, anything's going to go on with your kid as he gets older? Or?
I hope not. And for my wife's sanity, I hope he doesn't start saying he sees a bloody man or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, what's the one phrase that would just set off alarms for you? Is it the bloody one?
Probably bloody man or... Dude, I no doubt I was getting freaked out like a month ago. He was in his walker walking around the house, and I was like doing dishes. And he just looks up in a corner and starts like jumping and talking. And, you know, jabbering. And I'm like, oh shit. No. No. But then I have debunked that too. He was staring at the fire alarm. And I'm going to believe that whether it was or not. It was in the same vicinity, so it blinks. So I was like, maybe he's just staring at that. Hope to God.
I mean, don't babies do that, though? I mean, they kind of just pick something to look at. And...
They do.
I mean, it could be anything. Like a car light could go by, and they just like stare at that spot for like 20 minutes, waiting for it to happen again.
So yeah, that's I'll put a cap on my stories there, and that's all
I'm just
curious.
curious.
On personal.
I'm just curious though, Jake. Like, why do you think your life? Why do you think you've been so receptive to this stuff? Like, do you think some of it is just the imagination since you grew up kind of like reading a bunch of stuff like that kind of opened your mind to it, or
I feel like I have had an open mind about it my whole life. Like, my mother was very like, keep an open mind. There are demons. There are angels, and she's had her own experiences as well. And the funny thing is, my dad, he would always say we were just, being super imaginative. Like, I mean, he believes in angels and demons, but he never had like a ghost experience.
Yeah.
Until one day they were at the same house back in Harlan, and him and my mom were home alone, and he heard kids playing outside, and like laughing, and there was no TV on in the house or anything. And he's like, well, okay, there it is. And yeah, so I just feel like, and then plus I've had family, I won't get into it, but I've had family dabble into witchcraft. I don't dabble in that stuff. Like, I think it's interesting, but I ain't about to be casting some spells or nothing like that.
No, that's another thing I'm into right now too. Like, I think it's just cool to read up on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Speaking of that, I found a story about a witch's grave at Rest Haven.
I know exactly which one it is.
Yeah.
I know what it is. Death is a state of mind.
Yes. It's like the one up on top of the hill.
Yeah. I believe so.
Yeah, I remember this because maybe it's not the same one, but I remember when I ran cross country, we used to practice at Rest Haven, and we would run like on top of the hill, and there were a few graves up on the top, and one of them had like the looking glass,
Yeah.
like in the tombstone. That was like some sort of pagan thing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And that was slightly unnerving.
So, Darnell, do you have any like information on it?
Yeah, I got a little bit.
Hit us with it.
I'm like that guy from Kim Possible that's on the computer.
Yeah.
I can't remember what his name is.
Rodrigo.
Eduardo.
El Goblino.
Wade.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I got it's like a short paragraph about it. See, the witch's grave is a place in Rest Haven Cemetery where many people believe that a female witch was buried, along with many of her followers. Her story is that many people believe that she could perform black magic and has casted spells on anyone who bothered her. She was buried with an upside-down cross as a headstone with a glass eye in the top.
Yep.
Many of her followers were buried around her, where if you locate them all, they create a pentagram. This is somebody else's account, so it says I have went to her grave personally at night and have seen possibly more followers dressed in long black clothing walking around a fire. When I realized this, I turned around and ran off, and as I grew closer to the entrance, I heard laughter and a loud growl in my ear.
We should go out there one night.
I'm down. I'm ready to party with that,
That'd be cool.
but I ain't doing nothing in my own house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, Ben, I know you're gonna be piecing us out soon because you got some work in the morning. But do you got a fictitious tale that you would love to speak of? Or just wing it if you want. Halloweenish.
Like a story I know?
I mean, it could be a story you know, something that you just make up on the fly. Anything to give these good ghouls and girls good Halloween.
But I will recommend some Halloweeny materials for people to consume.
Ooh.
Wish. Number one, I'm just going to actually, both of these are M. Night Shyamalan movies. Number one, you got to watch The Sixth Sense, Halloween, because it's the aesthetic is just extremely fall. It's the perfect fall Halloween movie. And two, I hate aliens. And I gotta say, Signs
I love Signs.
That's probably my all-time scariest movie for me personally.
That's the two strongest in that.
Yeah, I agree. But I do think the more symbolic story in Signs is also really good.
Look up the pop-up trivia, I guess, on it.
Yeah. But it's definitely the those are my two Halloween recs. If anyone listens to this and wants to watch something.
He's watching that news broadcast and that alien Just comes across that birthday party. That's when the movie starts going, dude. It just goes crazy from there.
Spoiler.
Oh, it's just absolute horror. I don't know.
What is that, like the fourth kind?
Yes,
Fourth
I-
kind
Dude,
is good.
I can't deal with that movie.
that was
What?
pretty creepy.
I haven't been right about Al since.
Real quick,
I forgot about the rules. Oof.
before you go, what's like your favorite horror anything?
Like any horror.
I mean, like video game, book, movie. I mean, like, what could you go back to and just like be constantly like just impressed and scared by?
I mean, Signs has got to be up there. Gosh, that's a good question. I don't. Honestly,
I mean, this is up to all you.
no.
I, mean,
but,
I could answer real quick if you want, because I've always got mine. Like,
no, I would just say really quickly, like, I think a really underrated, scary, fun activity is just getting on YouTube and digging through and finding
That's what we do best, bro. That's what
Yeah.
we do best.
YouTube
This
videos.
whole friend group right here. This is what we do
kill, like,
best.
you could easily kill 2 hours just doing that.
Just 2 hours digging through stuff. A lot of it is completely stupid. The frog running across my kitchen floor.
Yeah, it's how. Yeah,
But then you'll find like, you know, like some hidden gems, and those
that
are
one video that just keeps you up for like the rest of the night.
yeah, and that's always worth it. Well, it's not worth it because it's awful and terrifying, but
It's what you want, but you hate to find it.
yeah.
You get a original screech from Ben Jones when you watch a good one.
Yeah. No,
Some Bigfoot clips.
I gotta say, just to answer once and for all Caleb's question is the stuff that not necessarily I would keep going back to, but I would
I mean, just something that interests you so much.
Yeah.
That you like,
something that really like pulls me in is like people's stories on the internet, usually on like Reddit and stuff like that, but just about supposedly true stories. I mean, obviously a lot of them are fake, but like true stories where people just talk about times when like really scary things happened to them that were like real, like people following them and like seeing like being watched in the woods. And like my all-time favorite one is probably it's probably fake, but it was done.
I mean, if it's fake, it doesn't really matter because sometimes they're just written so good it just pulls you in.
But this post where this guy accidentally filmed people who had broken into his house, like standing in the shadowy corners while he was like filming. And yeah, like just the idea of that, like someone just being in my fucking house and I don't even know it, and I walk by them.
Yeah,
that's like the ultimate. That's like my worst nightmare. But yeah, things like that, like actual supposedly true stories of really, really awful things like that. That's what keeps me coming back. Is because like it's probably fake, but it could be true.
Yeah, I mean they're always written as scenarios that sound like they could happen. So
yeah,
just like,
because so that gets me more than like, oh, Bagul came out of the portal and shot me with lightning or whatever, stuff like that. Yeah.
little Bagul coming out.
PT, I would say, is one that we could keep going back to. And I know we had a couple people in the friend group that were like, man, I'm over this. That's something that would terrify you because you're being in control of your character, and you just keep walking around knowing something's going to get you, something's going to happen, and that's, I don't know, it's terrifying once you're in control. And it's kind of like real life, like once you're in control of your own life versus a movie, you're like, well, shit.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, like, video games are my favorite way to consume the horror genre. It's just being there in that, like, the moment. It's just, I love it.
Yeah, like you're bringing all this back to me. Yeah, like Resident Evil 1, the remaster.
Yeah.
Horrifying as shit.
It's so good.
PT though is probably the scariest single like media product I've ever used or like seen. You know,
It was just
absolutely awful.
what made it so great is it was just a demo. There wasn't any meat to it, but it was just like it was meant to be just confusing enough to like just get you the taste what the real game is going to offer. So you really don't even know what's going on. It's just like this confusing just loop where you're just trying to survive.
Yeah, and the fact that like you just have to keep going. Like
yeah,
there's no like alternate way. You have to keep going in the circle.
Some man like recently like was messing around with the code of that game, and apparently like for the whole game, like I mean there's like a part it's triggered at, but like for the rest of the game, Lisa is like she's just always behind you.
God.
Like, wow. That's why sometimes when you walk by a lot and you like, just see like her shaking behind you, it's because she's like it was metaphorically implied, like she was always with you, but like it's actually literal too. Like she's just always like behind the camera, stuck onto you.
That's just awful. That's the worst thing ever.
But I think it just adds another layer of just like why that game's so creepy. It's just great. And like the interactions where she's walking down the hallway and like she's pulling at the door, it's all animated. Like she's actually doing that, even though you're not even probably ever going to see it. She's doing it.
But it's like coded into it.
Yeah, like that unnecessarily like extra amount of work just makes it even better.
Yeah, and the fact too how like I'm pretty sure eventually part of the strategy is like you actually have to turn around and look at her.
Yeah, they tell you at one point to do it.
Yeah. It's just the fact that you have to. Oh man. Horrifying.
It's something. What about you, Daniel? You got anything?
Like scariest things I watched or something, or just games?
Like a scary thing that just sticks with you, anything you really enjoy? Like you just come back to? Probably like I'm not a big reader, but I like listening to YouTube videos of people telling like Reddit stories and creepypasta stories and stuff like that. Yeah.
And I also like watching like cryptid videos on YouTube and stuff like that.
The cryptids are cool, dude.
And then listening to like supposed Bigfoot calls and stuff like that. That stuff's really addicting to listen to because it could be like anything, you know. But I don't know. I keep coming back to that stuff.
No, it's always interesting. Like even though they're 90% fake, like again, just like stuff's just so well done nowadays. It just really like puts you in there, like you're just really into it. Like it's more likely just some like dude dressed up as Bigfoot, but it's just always cool to like want to believe into that, just because it just makes it more interesting.
Always, I love that. Thinking about Bigfoot being on camera.
Yeah,
so everybody's got 240. Not frames per second, but definition.
Yeah.
240p.
240p.
It's just like a pixel moving out in the distance.
Yeah. Oh god. Big pixel. Yeah.
Oh god, that's a Bigfoot. You were wrong now.
The swamp people. Oh, shoot him, Jacob, shoot him.
Have you heard of like the swamp ape? It's like Louisiana's like equivalent of Bigfoot.
God, dude. Why did you say that? Because I know that famous photo of like the swamp ape or whatever. Dude.
It's my favorite version of Bigfoot.
My heart just freaking sank. Like, I gotta have to sleep.
He gonna come.
Oh, dude.
I
shouldn't have looked it up. I shouldn't have looked that up. Oh, God. Oh, God. That's terrible.
Terrifying shit.
It's going to scare me at like 10 a.m. tomorrow when I open up my browser.
God, dude.
Oh my god, dude! I shouldn't have looked that up. I didn't think it was gonna be that bad.
Is that not the most horrible?
Oh shit!
Oh, dude, it's pretty creepy photo, regardless if it's real or fake.
For anybody that didn't know, but Caleb just dropped that into our chat box and it pops up on your screen about 25%, and oh man, that just hurt me. I had to look away. It scared me so bad.
Nah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good quality too. It's like
Everything's
I like
scary
how
now.
little its mouth is compared to like its body.
Its arms like
It's huge. Swamp cool to see.
I don't know, man. Yeah, Bigfoot. That's a whole other topic.
Cryptids in general, just interesting.
Yeah,
If we
they
ever get to do another Lazaretto episode besides specials, we definitely need to do a Bigfoot encrypted episode.
I can talk about cryptids all days. Dude.
Do y'all remember the Cartoon Network cryptid stuff
Yeah.
that they would show? Yeah, that freaked me out.
That show was cool.
It was cool. It also made no sense, but I really liked it.
It was just an interesting concept for a show.
Yeah, that was like, there was like a weird like era in like 2006 when Cartoon Network did like reality stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was interesting though.
The Secret Saturdays.
Yeah, Secret Saturdays. Do you remember they had that ghost hunting show or whatever?
God, I don't remember. I would
That was
always
odd.
flick off
Like, I don't know.
whenever it was like live action. I just like
Yeah.
I scrolled or flicked to something else. That was
Yeah.
but
Yeah, but
They're
that was
playing a cartoon and I don't want no part of it.
that's pretty much it.
And everything is kind of creepy at night. But I'll also say quickly on things I keep returning to. I love reading in the whole month of October. And when I'm not reading a book of any sort, the subreddit No Sleep.
yeah.
There's some really good gems in that.
Yeah, I think I've been on that before.
what's it called?
No Sleep.
On Reddit. Yeah.
I think I found it because one of those creepy YouTube videos was like linking it to it.
Come follow my No Sleep.
I mean,
Number one.
Number one.
Burger King foot
lettuce.
There was a swamp ape in Burger King.
Real quick, have like this? I mean, this is like my version of the question. Have y'all like ever like looked at anything of Bloodborne?
Not really.
It's like a horror action game, but the horror aspect is just so interesting to me.
Really?
It's like Victorian era, like England aesthetic, but it's basically like, okay, there's a big plague coming around town. What are we gonna do? Oh, we found this old dead like elder god. Let's just drink its blood and hope it cures us. And then everybody starts turning into beast. And so like for the first half of the game, you're just fighting beasts, and then like near the end, you're like, oh shit, this is. You start fighting like these elder like gods your guy can't even comprehend, because that's what's causing the real problem.
That's
That's
real.
like part of the Dark Souls series, right?
And like and there's these like items you break too that make your like I literally think it's just called insanity because it makes your character just go crazier. But like you pop like 50 of them, and like you realize like you start seeing like what's actually going on in the world, and like you see like these big like tendril like otherworldly demons just on the building. But like these buildings were like the stuff you're at the beginning of the game, but you never saw it until like you just got crazy enough to like process it.
Crazy.
I guess another thing I keep coming back to is like you ever heard of Skinwalker Ranch?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like stuff that goes on there. Like I'll periodically look at it like at least like once every like 2 or 3 months, just because like there's so much stuff for that one from that one place.
Neato. Well, no scary stories to be told, I guess. Unless Caleb's got one about the man of Everett's.
Me?
Yeah, bro.
Man,
God, really have any scary stories. I just got nothing. I'm blank, dude.
You're good, bro. You're good.
It's so hard to just think of anything on the spot. I've tried to think of stuff, but I don't know.
I got another one of those stories.
Tell us. We'll end on this note.
Have you ever heard the Coxton Bridge?
Sounds familiar.
Or Jacob, what's that thing that we were like driving home that one night? You guys were like taking me home or something at night in the church van or something, and it was like that woman, the woman in white.
The one that pops up in the back seat.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I kind of remember that, but I don't remember it at the same time.
I can tell this one about the Coxton Bridge. It's like a paragraph and a half or something.
After that, I do actually have a story about me and my dad once, but I'll let you do yours first.
All right. This is a story I was told as a child about the Coxton Bridge. One night at the Starlight Bar close to the Coxton Bridge, a man and his wife was enjoying the night when the man seemed to disappear. The bartender at the time noticed that the man's young wife seemed to be asleep at the bar. When the bartender tried to wake her up, he noticed she wasn't moving. At this time, the bartender rolled her over and realized her throat was slit. After the media published the story, a young reporter was contacted by the woman's husband. He had then told the reporter that he had committed the murder for the sole act that he believed his wife was cheating on him. Then the man told the reporter to meet him under the Coxton Bridge for an interview. Little did the female reporter know that no one else knew the man's name. When she went to meet him, he attacked her from behind and slit her throat also. The man has never been found to this day. Legend says the bridge is still haunted by the reporter looking for a story.
Jeez.
Spooky. That's kind of dark.
It is dark. What a weird. Never heard of any of these folklores, but I'm glad I am. They're interesting.
Now you know, and maybe some other people know.
I like how two of them connect to like the mines around here.
Yeah. Any closing words before we leave on this
I just got
spooky holiday?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
This is the road. What's the real bad road where you come off the mountain and it's like it has all those turns?
You talking about Pine Mountain?
Yeah. Because you're coming out of Virginia onto it.
No, you're talking. What's that called? What'd you say?
I don't know. Is it four? It ain't 421, is it?
I don't know. I just know it's like a bit before Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it that? Okay. This around time, my dad moved up to like Tennessee, and on school nights, he would just bring me back at like the day of school at like 2 a.m. because he didn't just feel like driving out the day before when he had the day off. So he would have to hurry up, bring me home, and then drive back so he could hit to work. So I mean, we're driving back, and we're on that really like windy road, and it's probably like 2 a.m. And we're just driving down. All of a sudden, like near one of the guardrails, we just see like the quickest glimpse of just a woman just standing there. And like she's on the passenger side, and I'm just looking out at her. And I'm like, huh? I'm like, Dad, did you see that? And he's like, yep. And he just didn't talk about it again. He just kept driving. It was she was like real lanky. It was like I'm sure it was probably a crackhead, but it was just like, I mean, 2 a.m. just seeing that like come into like your headlights.
Where's my crack?
Dude, it's terrifying. The dad just stole face, just like he didn't even react to it. He's just like, yep, that's creepy. He just kept going.
Yeah, I probably would have had the same reaction. You gotta stay strong for you youngins. Yep.
loved it, dude. It was cool.
Any closing comments on this spooky holiday?
Enjoy your Halloween, I guess.
Be safe. Check that candy. Avoid COVID. Or not. Get sick, bro.
God.
Happy Halloween from the Lazaretto.